Hey everyone, it's Monday, February 17th, 2025, and we've got another big weather update for you. A significant storm system is currently exiting the U.S., but we're still feeling its effects in a big way. Right now, we've got strong winds ripping through the eastern seaboard, heavy snow piling up in the interior northeast, and that's all pushing up into Canada. It's been a major system, and as it moves out, we are going to get a brief period of quieter and cooler weather. And I know this isn't a surprise to anyone, another storm is already on the way. We'll get into all of that in just a second. But before we do, let's talk about the storm we just went through and some of the serious impacts it left behind. So in the Northeast, we've seen a ton of snow. We're talking significant accumulations in upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. The Mid-Atlantic has been dealing with ice issues, which has made travel a nightmare. And of course, last night, we were live for 12 hours straight covering some incredibly intense, severe weather. We had hail, strong winds, and over 200 reports of wind damage, particularly across Alabama and parts of Georgia, including Atlanta. Strong winds continued into this morning, causing additional damage. But before we get into the details, hit the subscribe button, like this video, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for your support. But the biggest problem with this storm, by far, has been the catastrophic flooding in Kentucky, Virginia, West Virginia, and Tennessee. Y'all, I cannot express just how bad this situation is. Once again, we're seeing entire communities underwater, and it just keeps happening. This is one of the worst flooding events I've ever seen in this region. Some areas saw up to 6 inches of rain in just 24 hours, and that water had nowhere to go. We're talking homes completely submerged, roads turned into rivers, and families being forced to evacuate in the middle of the night. Emergency crews have been working nonstop, doing water rescues and trying to get people to safety. But tragically, we've already lost several lives, and more people are still missing. Now, let's talk about what's coming next, because we are not done yet. There's another major winter storm on the way, and it could bring significant impacts across the country. Right now, we're looking at an enhanced risk of wintry precipitation stretching from Kansas City to St. Louis, down through western Kentucky and western Tennessee, and maybe even into northern Arkansas. This system is going to be moving in fast. And by day 4, the risk for winter weather increases significantly, with a 40% probability of a major winter storm from eastern Kentucky all the way to Maryland and Delaware. Some models even suggest that this storm could strengthen and ride up the East Coast, bringing heavy snow to the I-95 corridor in interior Northeast. So let's break this down with the latest model data. Our current storm, the one causing all this mess on the East Coast, is finally moving out. By Monday morning, it'll be gone, but it's leaving behind a ton of snow in places like upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. But while that one exits, look over here. Our next system is already showing up in the Pacific Northwest. By Monday morning, we could start seeing snow showers in Kansas City. And as it pulls in Gulf moisture, things are going to intensify. By Tuesday morning, moderate snow could be falling in eastern Kansas, and we might see some mixed precipitation around Oklahoma City. Meanwhile, the Deep South, including East Texas and Southwest Louisiana, could be dealing with heavy rain and thunderstorms in the afternoon and evening. As we move into Wednesday morning, heavy snow is expected in St. Louis, a wintry mix around Memphis and Little Rock, and potential snow accumulation from Middle Tennessee into eastern Kentucky. And then we've got another potential ice storm setting up along the eastern side of the Appalachians, stretching into North Carolina and South Carolina. Now, some models show this storm hugging the coast and turning into a big nor'easter. Others suggest it could just slide out to sea. Either way, it's going to bring snow. The question is how much and exactly where. Through Wednesday evening, some of the highest snowfall totals could include 10 inches in parts of eastern Kansas, a foot or more in south central Missouri, 4 or 5 inches in St. Louis, 6 inches in Kansas City, and 8-10 inches in western Kentucky and southern Illinois. Snow could reach as far south as Memphis and Little Rock, with several inches possible there too. But we also have to watch for ice. There's a real concern for significant icing across parts of Arkansas, Oklahoma, and northern Mississippi. And by Thursday, we could be looking at a major ice storm in North Carolina and South Carolina, which could lead to widespread power outage. It's looking beyond the storm. It looks like the Southeast is staying colder than average for a while. But if you check out the 14-day temperature outlook, you'll see warmer air trying to build in the west. By March 1st, we could see a pattern flip, with that warmth finally starting to spread eastward. Temperatures will drastically drop across much of the east, with many areas expecting freezing conditions. Snow showers are likely to affect northern parts of the country, particularly in the form of light snow during the day. The forecast for Tuesday, February 18th will be crucial as the storm system begins to organize. This stage of development is key in determining the precise track of the low pressure system and will influence how much snow regions like Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, and parts of the Midwest will receive. As we move into Wednesday, February 19th, the snowstorm will intensify with significant snowfall expected to reach into parts of Virginia, North Carolina, and the southern mid-Atlantic. Southeastern Virginia could be in line for a substantial snowstorm, particularly if the European model's predictions hold true. This would be ideal for vlog content, especially since Hampton Roads, Richmond, and the areas around Raleigh could be impacted by plowable amounts of snow. However, there is still some uncertainty regarding how far south and north the storm will track, which will affect how much snow falls in these areas. On Wednesday morning, the snow will continue to spread through the mid-Atlantic, reaching areas like southern New Jersey and southern New England by Thursday, February 20th. Winds will intensify, potentially creating blizzard conditions with low visibility and drifting snow. Although the snow amounts may not be particularly high in some areas, the combination of heavy snow and strong winds will likely lead to dangerous travel conditions. Following the storm, colder air will settle in, leaving much of the east and south experiencing frigid temperatures for the latter part of the week. Looking ahead, the end of February into early March remains a period of uncertainty. The models are showing signs of warmer conditions returning by February 24th and 25th, with temperatures trending above normal in the east, signaling a possible end to the cold spell. While some cold air may linger in pockets, particularly across the Northwest, it's unclear whether this cold will be sustained or if we'll see more consistent warmth working its way in. In fact, a significant warm-up in the southeast and Gulf Coast is anticipated during the final days of February. The storm risk for the week ahead remains relatively low after the storm impacts the East Coast. However, a marginal thunderstorm risk is expected for the Gulf Coast on Tuesday, February 18th, mainly in Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. As we head into March, the models are suggesting that the primary focus could shift toward severe weather outbreaks, especially in the Midwest and South Central U.S., which may set the stage for active weather as we transition into the new month. In terms of precipitation, the overall pattern is showing a marked shift. While the East is drying out, the Northwest continues to see above average precipitation. This will likely come in the form of snow in the mountainous regions. Meanwhile, snowstorms in the central U.S. will impact states like Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and parts of the Midwest. In addition, strong winds accompanying these storms will be a concern, particularly along the East Coast, where blizzard conditions are a real possibility. Finally, as we approach the end of February, it's clear that the models are still in flux with continued shifts in storm tracks and temperature patterns. There's a significant chance that by March, we will see a return of severe weather as the atmospheric conditions align. For now, it's important to stay updated with the forecast as things can change rapidly, particularly when it comes to the timing and location of storms.